Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 20 of the Oblivion Oath. Before we get started here today, I want to remind everybody that this episode has been pre-recorded. So we're filming this before the air date because our Master of Ceremonies, Peyton, is at TwitchCon right now. But we will be live next week with episode 21, so tune in then. I think that's really the only announcements I have for today. Looking up at my points, I'm all good on that front, so I think we're good to go. When we last left our intrepid band of adventurers, they had finally escaped Rasmussen. Woohoo! It is a journey that had taken several weeks and was not without significant peril, but eventually you found yourselves on a barge crossing the West Selen River into Timon, the river kingdom on the western edge of that conglomerate of small kingdoms and fiefdoms. This barge, being captained by a Captain Harlan Stonesworth, brought you across the river, and as he did so, he gave you some rather grim news. Word had reached Timon that things had really taken a turn for the south in Lastwall. That when you left, there were odd things happening. Rumors out of Rossler's coffer that some sort of catastrophe had happened. Fires throughout the summer were plaguing the land. Strange whispers of odd occurrences and shadowy figures moving in the dark. It was not a good time to be in Lastwall. And after you left, it sounds like things took a turn even for the worse. Captain Harlan let you know, or gave you the rumors. I mean, this isn't an accredited news source. Barge captain isn't exactly, the medieval version of CNN. And he told you that rumor had come to them that Lastwall had entirely fallen, that Vigil had been destroyed, and worse still, that the Whispering Tyrant had broke free. Anyone who knows that history knows that there's no way the Whispering Tyrant does not hold a deep and lasting hatred for the nation of Lastwall, and his vengeance appears to be total. With this grim news, you finally arrived in Timon, and casting about, your guide, Professor Nicodemus, remembered that in the city there is a watch station, a recruitment station, really, for Lastwall, and that if you wanted to learn anything about this strange order that gave you this key, gave, as if it were a gift, that you might want to visit the watch station and find out more about it. You began making your way through the city, but you found your way blocked. Timon is, at its heart, a city filled with gladiators. It is an entire nation kind of focused around the gladiatorial arts, making it no real surprise that Lastwall recruits soldiers from there. Washed out gladiators make great soldiers. The ones that survive anyway.
Yeah.
And you arrived in the middle of the parade at the start of the week's gladiatorial games. So you saw a bunch of gladiators marching their way through the city, including some rather impressive warriors astride exotic mounts. Then after that, there were cages filled with wild beasts. There were... let me think. There was a scorpion, if I recall correctly. There was a pair of tigers, and then there was a rather nasty, feral-looking troll. After them was the newly minted gladiators, those that are wearing armor that looks new and well-bought, recently bought. It's not dented, it's not covered in blood, it's not scratched and ripped. These young gladiators are hoping to prove themselves in the arena. Finally following up them is a wagon filled with prisoners being taken to the arena to fight, and maybe some of them survive and have their sentences commuted, but from talking to some of the shopkeepers, it sounds pretty apparent that they don't really stand a chance. Unfortunately, in this mess, you saw Oldrew Hastings, the father from the barge that all of you were on when you arrived, when you were sailing around Lake Incarthen before you arrived in Rasmussen when the barge sank. Noting this, you pushed on and made your way to the watch station. There you met Lieutenant Swift-Thistle, an elven man who confirmed the news that you had heard, at least as much as he knew it. He had been given the recall order. The rally point had been set. This was an ancient kind of command that Lastwall had set millennia ago, that should the worst happen, should the unthinkable occur, the rally point was Absalom. All knights should fall back to Absalom. And rumor had it that Watcher Lord Uthan, the leader of Lastwall, survived and was making his way to Absalom. These knights were hoping to meet him en route there, hopefully as he was passing by Kynan, but timing, they may meet him, they may not. Otherwise, they're just going to head to Lastwall. They see no point in staying here and recruiting more people when Lastwall itself has fallen. Mm-hmm. At least not yet. So, you got that news. You chatted with him. It turns out that they are not leaving for another 2 days. They're still packing up their office and preparing to go. So, after that, you decided to pay a visit to the arena. There, along the base, along the outside, are the cages where they hold the prisoners until their time to fight. It is not their time to fight. You learn that they don't fight until generally noon the next day or the day after that. So they're not exactly a premier bout. They're more like a palate cleanse for a bloodthirsty crowd. So you made your way and you found Father Oldrew, the father. He's not a priest, sorry. He is the father of the family. Oh, God. It's worse. Oldrew Hastings. And you talk to him, and it's then that you notice that his kids were nearby. They survived as well. It turns out that the family managed to survive the barge sinking and was picked up by a merchant that made their way to Timon, where they were put off the boat. Unfortunately, just like the rest of you, Oldrew and his family lost everything they had when the barge sank, and he had no money. He explained that he tried to make an honest living applying his skills, but here in Timon, you're not allowed to open up a business unless you are a gladiator. So finding work was really hard. He ended up resorting to thievery and stole food for his children. He was caught, and the laws say that if you steal from the bloodied, you suffer very, very grim punishment. And he has been slated to fight in the arena. To be honest, this didn't move you much. There was some not exactly an outpouring of support for a thief. He may have been an honest man once, but he turned to thievery. And I believe you offered to take the children with you to Absalom should he perish in the arena. He seemed to take that as some cold comfort, but I believe that is where we left off.
Yeah, so I'd like to clarify. Carina feels bad for him. Just like the whispering tyrant is back, and she has grown up her entire life hearing how awful that would be. The whole city she lives in, the point of them is to protect against this. And, I mean, we've got a key that raises undead. Like, I feel like we have things to do that are a little more important. And that sucks, but it's also, for Carina, that's her truth.
So as you're standing there chatting with these prisoners, he looks rather sullen about the whole thing, and kind of you see him reach out and tussle his kids' hairs as he kind of just stares at them with kind of shame. He looks ashamed at what he's done. But as you're standing there, one of the guards comes up and makes his way up, and it's like, "All right, move along," and kind of bats at you with like a. Not a weapon. He's got like a sap, basically, and he's kind of waving it around, being like, "Come on, move along."
Is there any sort of lawyer system where people can fight for prisoners? I say as I take the kids.
You are pulling the kids back, and the guard looks at him and he goes, "Why would you want to fight for these riffraff? They stole or robbed or even hurt the bloodied. They don't deserve your pity."
Oh, of course not. No. If you're going to do something, do it well, I always say.
He looks at you and is just like, ugh.
Do you have any sort of proxy law system here?
He looks at you and says, if you want to talk to the bloodied he offended, then perhaps, but the only person who can discharge him of his fate is those he wronged. Those are the laws.
Of course.
He kind of shoos you off.
I'm holding the kids.
They're squirming.
To be honest, they're kind of freaked out by you.
Yeah.
They're like,
That's fair.
Yeah.
Here, you are of the same ancestry.
Oh, a pair of children. Children! Good. I was off with the wagon, essentially, most of
right,
this
I'll
time.
just-
That's why I haven't been saying much. A pleasure to meet you. I think
So
I might
you-
have a few trinkets or toys that you can play with a bit while we figure out what to do next.
I like that you think just because they're the same ancestry, like he's gonna be a capable child, like caregiver.
Oh, I just think they'll be less scared.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good point.
That's true.
Would it
Don't
be
give you potions.
Ruxy make terrible babysitters. You heard it here first.
would it be a problem? Like, would there be any like rules against, since we're here for 2 more days, if Carina like tried to maybe give him some pointers on combat?
Or should we go talk to the one he offended, see if one of us can proxy in?
Carina's not gonna proxy in.
I don't mind
perhaps-
killing some innocent person for this guy, although I will make sure he knows that someone died because of his actions.
I find that many things can be solved with a bit of coin as well. Maybe we
Yeah.
can talk to this bloodied and anyway pay for this man's release. Have the bloodied drop the charges, so to speak, and that way no laws are broken.
If
I
he wants coin, I can give him coin.
I think we can approach that, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has to save face. To release a prisoner for coin might go against this culture, but I think we should do that.
It can't hurt but to try with, since we are here for a bit of time.
As long as it doesn't put kind of what we need to do
Oh no, we will.
with this whole Whispering Tyrant
We
situation.
will leave with the last wall defenders as soon as they.
Okay.
With that.
Yes. On that,
Zell?
leaving with them. My brother is in Last Wall, and while he's not the best person, I feel like I should go back and get him out of there.
Zell, that's so dangerous.
It is dangerous, but out of all of us, I'm the most sneaky. And Mikah, my good friend here, you all seem very strong individuals to
Wait.
help defend her.
But you're not coming with us?
I will meet back up with you after I retrieve my brother.
You're certain he's still alive?
How would you even know where to find him?
Oh, we're both a little underhanded in our dealings, and I'm very familiar with that city, so I know where he will be hiding and how he would have escaped if he did. But I think this is the best. I really need to take care of my brother, even if he is into weird stuff with like the Bone Men and.
The Bone Men.
Oh yeah, I did not like those people.
But what if he finds you? Also, you told me you'd help me find my parents.
Oh, and I will continue to research that, and I will look for your family as well as I'm there.
Wow, you're looking for everybody's family.
I am a somewhat okay tracker, but I need to get my brother out of there.
I can understand the familial call.
The guard watch, the Lieutenant Swift Thistle said that the entire country hadn't fallen into chaos.
Right, that there's still...
That Loomes was still an operating port and people were fleeing from it. So that's where you left. But your family is from...
Oh yeah, they're from Vigil, so
Ooh,
there's like this small glimmer of hope that maybe
they might
have left beforehand to go do something,
They
or
might have fled to
yeah,
Voluminous.
or if her sister who's in the army was on assignment somewhere, maybe she's headed to Absalom and didn't die. Maybe. I mean, that's the hope that Carina holds on to.
Your only tie to Voluminous was your former master.
Yeah, I'm not from there, so
If I see him, I will make sure to put a dagger in his back. No.
please do.
I'll watch out for him. I know how to avoid him, but yeah, so I need to get my brother out of there, and I figure I can also look for your family as well. Also, I just recently I remembered something. It sounds kind of crazy, but that knight that cursed us, because that's what he did, he had a squire.
Yeah.
But we didn't even know what they looked like.
We didn't, but we had a name. And we know that he's a fairly unique looking individual, so I feel like I can perhaps look for that squire as well. Because that squire has got to know something as well. So that way we have two leads to this.
Like a two-pronged attack on
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What if the squire is not a good person, or if they were part of the curse, or I don't know,
That's true. Then I will bring them back for questioning.
for justice?
For justice. Speaking of let's bust that guy out of jail. Justice is a point of view. But I think that would be good. Mikah, you're my best friend, and I'm leaving you in the capable hands of these two, but we need to get rid of this curse, and I need to get my brother out of there. Maybe I can have him straighten up and fly right.
Like
No,
yourself.
he can't
Like
fly.
me.
Neither of you can fly
Yet.
yet.
Is this an Aruxi mutation that we made?
Why don't we just a little jelly of dragons, their wings.
Isn't.
I think I might be able to make something like that at some point.
Yes. But we can discuss this more, but I think once you head south, I'll head back north, especially now that we've gotten rid of those Resmiran cultists that were hounding us.
Well, Zelda, it's not time for you to go yet. So
No,
I can't say my advice.
no.
But let's come along, get the wagon, and sort of ask around to see where this particular bloodied someone the Red, I think it was.
Yes.
Can't quite remember.
We can hurry
his
over there
name.
and ask him, I guess, real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
So, as you're discussing this, Sev speaks up and she says, I don't have very many folk in the Loomes, but my brother is there.
Oh,
His name is Termeth. Termeth Solmore. And you should seek him out. He is well connected in the city and may be able to help.
excellent. Thank you, Sev. Thought she was going to come with me. I was like, yes, Bard!
Bard
She's like, no, I'm not going.
Yeah, you're insane, but thank you.
No, that's.
You have
is-
my flute.
I am a collector of tales and stories, and I'm afraid if I go there, I may not be able to tell any more.
So we'll write down on his list of follow-ups. All right.
With a flipping notebook.
Yeah. Dwarf families are so big.
So, you had heard that he had Uldru had stolen from a tavern that he had been pilfering from basically the kitchen, and that this tavern is one of a couple owned by a gladiator by the name of Rannoch Redfist.
I like Red Fist.
Rannoch
Yeah.
That's something red.
Redfist.
Can I
Because
also
gladiators always have awesome names.
Yeah, right?
Can I also just
Part of the
point
show.
out, last time when we were talking about all this, you just said he stole things. You didn't say he was just stealing food. So I feel like
Oh, I thought I made that clear.
maybe you didn't. I just didn't
right, well,
notice that.
You were too
but-
focused on your family
Yeah.
having been
Yeah.
obliterated.
Yeah.
prior.
It's easy to
There
notice
was
little
that.
details when you just get told your whole family exploded. That happens.
Potentially exploded.
Do we think Rannoch would be already at the arena? Can we go to this tavern and just sort of ask for them?
You can try.
Okay, let's
But
go.
not
to
every
the
gladiator fights on every gladiator.
Sure,
Sometimes
yeah,
they
yeah,
need,
whatever.
a break, and
Yeah, of course.
so maybe he's at the arena, maybe he's not.
tavern. Let's go to this tavern and
Yeah.
at least
Seems a good lead.
have a spot of food maybe.
Maybe
While
he's
we-
there running specials for game day.
2 copper wings.
Yeah.
Is that what they're doing?
Basically.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, sure.
Something from an animal called a buffalo.
Interesting.
That's odd.
Hello.
So, good lord. All right. So, you make your way through town and you ask around, and you quickly come to learn that there are a number of taverns in town called Rannoch's.
It's a chain.
He has a chain, yeah. No,
He dared to offend against a franchise.
How do we know which one is the real one?
Original Rannoch's.
Yeah. there you
Original
go.
Rannoch.
well, that's
Famous
where you
original
want to go.
Rannoch's,
Yeah.
the first Rannoch's.
So you make your way around. Make sure not to talk too much into my coffee cup. And after a bit, you end up going to like 2 of them, and they're like, "Oh no, we're just a chain." And basically, these are just taverns, right? I mean, they serve food and they serve drink, and there's a table in the middle of each one that is reserved for Rannoch when he visits.
Okay.
And all of those tables are the same. They are a kind of a large round table with one mighty chair on one side of it, and they're always kind of cordoned off, and there's no one at them when Rannoch isn't there. And you notice in the first one that you're at that the top of the table is carved with like names and gambling boards like carved into the table for games of chance, which was actually shockingly common in old taverns and oddly old church pews. Anyway,
That's not so odd.
yeah, not really.
People are the same.
Taverns are less boring.
Yeah. So you make your way around, and eventually it takes you like most of the rest of the afternoon. It's early evening. The games have been going on. You've been hearing the cheers and roars from the stadium all day. But eventually you get to one where the central table is full. There are people at it. And at the head of the table, sitting in the tall chair, and now you suddenly realize why it's tall and bigger than all the rest, is a dwarf.
I was thinking.
And,
I wasn't going to say anything, but I was thinking.
The dwarf is currently like, ha 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 ha, and slamming his mug into someone else's. And you notice one of his fists is dyed red. You're not sure if that's permanent, a tattoo, or whether or not he just, every morning he just stuffs his fist into a bucket of red dye. But it's part of the brand, apparently.
Yeah,
So,
good
Best part of
branding.
waking up.
Yeah.
Red dye in your cup.
yeah, apparently. Yeah, so he's a dwarf. He's got a big, rather messy beard. But it's pleated here and there. He's wearing kind of rough leathers, look well made. Leaning up to the table is a giant battle axe. The thing is huge.
I think the good father has a real good chance against him.
No, I don't think that he has to fight the Rannoch the Red.
Oh.
He fights like random animals, I think, which is
okay.
its own sort of messed up, but
Yeah, it's fine. So you make your way in, and the table is currently full with people. Some people are up there gambling with him, and he's throwing dice. He is just the life of the party. Everyone's, vying to spy the head table and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's the local, gladiatorial celebrity having some drinks. So that's what you see.
Okay.
I think perhaps you should lead this.
So I'll introduce myself and the rest of you. And let's see how amenable this Mr. Redfist is to a bit of trade. Maybe we could, I see he's got a gambling table here, maybe a spot of game of chance. Although, luck being what it is, sometimes that might not be there to rely on that, and I wouldn't want to cheat this fine gentleman, or at least be caught cheating him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Second one.
Yes. So I'll dust off my cravat and get my hat ready, and step up as best I can to sort of get the table's attention. And as a matter of fact, I'll use group impression. Yeah.
Feet.
I can do 2 people instead of 1.
People at once.
You
Yeah.
too.
Okay. But I will step up and say, I believe Rannoch Redfist Your reputation precedes you, my good friend. I am Dr. Nicodemus Thorn, traveling apothecary, and I think it would be a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I have, and even perhaps we could enter a bit of a mutually beneficial business arrangement.
He's in the middle of dicing with someone, and he slams his mug into the table as he loses, and the person across the table gingerly reaches out for the pile of coins, and he stares at him really intently, and you're giving your speech during all of this, and he just kind of is like staring at him, and he looks up at you. What are you selling?
Well, I sell all manner of tinctures and salves and balms, and anything to soothe the wounds of a fighting man such as yourself, or perhaps even give you a bit of an edge in combat. Not that you would need it, of course. I can tell that you are a man of much vigor.
He's like, priests of Gorham treat me pretty well. I do demand a lot of coin.
Yes, well...
Put this arm on last week.
Nice.
Damn troll.
Professor Thorn's tinctures are a bit easier on the wallet, on the coin purse, so to speak. But of course, you barely know me. If I may, have a seat here with you. Perhaps buy a round of drinks for the table.
He looks around at the table at one person who is kind of quietly off in the corner, and he reaches over the table. He gets his axe and just pushes that person out of the chair. And the person's like, ah! And falls off and kind of tumbles down, and he's like, seat just opened.
Excellent. I'll sort of look back at the group and kind of give him a good nod.
With him, a few of his friends also get up to help him, and they all just kind of leave. So there's a couple seats at the table.
Oh yes, my friends, my traveling companions, please come have a seat. I'll take my hat off as I have a sit down. This is Relic Redfist. We've heard so much about. His name whispered throughout all the crowds here in Timon. Of course.
Give me a diplomacy
Sure
check.
thing.
I want to kind of see how much this guy likes you to start with.
Can do. That is a 23.
Ooh. Yeah, you offered him a drink. That helps.
It don't hurt.
Yeah, no, that's always a way to a dwarf's heart. Yeah, he kind of looks at you and is like, yeah, so these balms, these potions you're selling, they work?
Of course they work.
Willing to prove it?
Yeah, I'll prove it at any moment. What would you like? I can whip you up something that.
He's like, hold out your hand. He grabs his clan dagger that's at his waist, draws it, flips it over, and stabs through your hand.
Right at the table. Terrific.
Oh, that's gonna hit. Yeah, no, that cleanly hits.
That would have been very embarrassing.
In fact, it's probably a critical hit. Actually, now that I'm looking at it,
Your hand explodes.
that's an armor class 28.
Oh, yeah, that'll critically hit me.
All right.
I'm still not completely healed up,
I was
by the
just
way.
about to offer to have Carina do it instead, and
That's fine with me.
Take 12 as he stabs the dagger right through your hand and into the table.
Oh my.
I hope that wasn't your potion making hand.
They both
He stares at you. So,
Cell's like, are you all right?
and he
I'll be fine.
He has to do one of these.
Two hands on it.
Biting my lip to keep
to
just
get it out of the
screaming
table,
in pain.
and he's like, so your bomb should fix that, right?
Yes, I have just the thing for this, and it'll be
He's pointing to the other people at the table, and he's like, look at him go.
Do you need me to grab one of your potions, Professor?
Thank you, Mikah. Thank you.
Fumble around and get one.
Yeah, I'll take one of my minor healing potions, my minor elixirs of life,
Yeah, all right.
and take a sip of that, which won't heal nearly enough, but it'll close the wound up a bit. 4 points, okay.
Well, that stops it from squirting blood everywhere.
Of course, that is just the alchemical beginning to a treatment. I can, of course, bandage up. I work with a bit of herbalisms and all sorts of medicines to.
Blood is your explaining.
I'm kind of barely keeping it together. My face is pale. I'm just like.
Give me a, you know what? Give me a deception check to maintain the ruse
Alright,
that you
yeah.
are.
I'm feeling fine.
That you are doing great.
This is no.
So
normally
much
don't
bigger.
put my to such a test. I got a lot of these. You can have one.
Oh no.
That's okay. That is a little better. It's only a 14 though. It's better than 11.
He leans over and he's like, "It doesn't seem like it totally fixed up the wound there. How much you charging for these? I mean, I'd have to drink a lot of them.
That's true. Amir.
I mean, I am a man of big thirst. Where's that round?
Yes, Mikah, would you please?
Yes.
Let's get around for all of us here. And of course, Amir
professor.
Pittance. Amir Pittance. I think I can let these go. And of course, it would take a bit to craft some up. I have a few in my wagon, of course, back there, back outside. But oh gosh,
He's like, you're looking a bit pale.
I'm just gonna kind of wipe my face with my cravat. What are these? What do minor elixirs of life usually go for? Let's find out here.
Usually like 2, I think. They're not very
Yes.
expensive.
They're not. Oh, there they are. 3.
3.
Of course, I'll be able to let these go for a mere 1 gold piece each. I'm of course taking quite a loss, but this is a discount for you, and perhaps maybe we could speak of further future exclusivity arrangements.
So you're giving them to me roughly at cost, but you're getting advertisement is what you want me to talk about it?
That would be, I'll get my name out there. I've been in Timon a few times before. I think some people know about Professor Thorn's traveling apothecary, but the more, the merrier.
I used to be in business with a potion maker, and it went pretty well until the potions got watery. And, he kind of points to there's a lintel in the back of the bar over an archway that leads to, like, a private dining room. And on that lintel are nailed to it a whole bunch of right hands.
Oh, boy.
That's fine.
Which is where he stabbed you.
Right, yeah.
Just FYI.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Potions get weak, I take a hand.
My potions are always of the highest quality, of course. And as I progress, I like to think of myself as still as a student of the lore. I bet I can make even better ones as time goes on.
Well, I hope so. For your hand's sake. As he points to the wound that's still like weeping blood.
I'm
gonna fully admit it's gonna maybe.
I don't know if it would help or not for Carina to say anything.
Carina usually is the life of the party.
Oh,
I don't think she'll bring it down at all.
No, not at all. I think she will say, I can attest to the quality of his potions, and just kind of like make sure that he can see she is also a dwarf with a battle axe who appreciates combat and good healing potions.
And at that, he notices you for the first time, and he's like, "Oh, well, glad to see that you agree. And what's your name?"
Carina.
Carina, huh? Family?
Whisperbane. Formerly a vigil.
Oh, he kind of goes, so clanless then? Well, here's hoping not.
Yeah.
And he raises a toast to those we lost.
Is the dagger still in your hand?
No, he took it out.
He took it out.
I've got a.
He like had to wiggle it out of
bandage it
the
up a little
table.
bit.
Yeah, no, it was.
I'm gonna have to spend 10 minutes later on to give myself some bandages too.
Well, Carina can help with that.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do it in front of the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to, this business.
Well, your apothecary here has a unique bunch.
Oh yeah, these are some traveling companions that I helped get out of Razmaran. As they were leaving last wall, they had a bit of an accident and found themselves within the living god's paradise.
Yeah, I've had some accidents over there too, about once a year.
Not sure why I'm not following.
A bunch of cultists trip and land on my axe.
Good.
3 or 4 times each.
Well, you can't be too careful.
Yeah,
when
it's
you're on
unfortunate.
Razmaran.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Those
and there,
pesky cultists keep coming across this river. We'll give them what for.
yeah. Well, we had a bit of an altercation with them ourselves, just on the other side of the Westellen, and of course we made it out quite fine.
Zell pulls out his flail, but we did get this.
Hey, that's a nice one.
To go ahead and take a look.
He kind of weighs it. Looks
Not
at
my
it,
kind
and
of
is just kind of like, wow. Yeah. Kind of looks at it. Enchanted. Nice.
Yeah, the guy carrying it called himself a herald or something.
Haha, you killed a herald. Oh, yeah, you don't want to go back to Rasmussen. If that gets out, they'll be coming for you.
We didn't want to go back before that, so.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Keep an eye out. They don't take lightly to folks killing their heralds. They will send people after you.
Lovely.
I'm sure we'll be just fine. We will keep the.
You might want to get rid of that, by the way.
Well, are you interested in it?
He shrugs. Nah. He kind of pats the axe. But I do know some folk down at the arena that can strip the enchantments off that.
Oh yes. So.
Anyway,
Mr.
business.
Business indeed.
Speaking of business, who has some coin? And he slams a pair of dice down on the table.
I don't have much.
I do not.
I do,
do I have?
but I don't know that I have the gambling skills.
I do have one gold piece left.
Oh gosh.
But some
he-
copper as well.
Is he gambling with gold? What is he?
I just got silver pieces on the table.
I'll put down a silver piece, but I don't know how to play.
Do you want one of us to gamble with your money?
Sure. I'll bankroll this with a silver piece.
Definitely not Carina.
What do you use for gambling?
I don't even know.
So generally speaking, you can there is a gambling lore
That's true.
out there that you can certainly roll, and that's the most appropriate skill. If you don't have that, you can make a society check just to play the game. And finally, if you want to try and play dirty, you can try a deception check to try and cheat. This is in lieu of having an actual gambling game, which we could do, but no one will be able to see it. Instead, we'll just rely on a skill check.
Terrific.
Okay, it's society actually, so.
Go for
You
it.
can try it. I'm gonna, if I can make change.
Do you have change for gold?
Change for gold.
Oh yeah, he's got stacks of silver on the table.
I'll put in a.
He's
I'll
the
do
banker.
I'll do 2 silver pieces.
All right, yeah, he'll
that
match
is,
whatever
that
bet
works.
whatever bet you put down.
Well, now I have to put it.
No, you don't have to put in 2.
Okay, fine.
I'm.
You have a problem.
Yeah, I have a. I can stop anytime I want.
I mean, I just started, but I could stop anytime.
I need to get. Mama needs a new hand.
All right.
Well, not Mama in this case. Okay, so.
Oh yeah, just go ahead and make one of those 3. You have
Sure.
to tell me which one you're making, though.
I'm also
Your
making
society.
a society check.
Okay, yeah. As long as you're making society checks, I'm not going to be making any perception checks to
you're
notice you
Actually,
trying to cheat.
Better at society.
She's pretty good at society.
26.
Only a 17.
You push, you lose your money.
What does that mean?
You keep the 2.
Hooray!
You don't win any more back. And,
You're
and
like,
mind you,
oh, am I
this is just
winning?
to keep it nice and simple.
Yeah.
Right at the moment, you're basically playing a game of like it's similar to Liar's Dice, and you're playing that game. So it's real easy to end up just kind of pushing and just walking away with what you started.
Yeah.
But Ranak ended up taking your money,
Right.
and you ended up kind of getting out with yours.
All according to my plan.
And it's a couple hands. This isn't just one hand. You don't bet it all at once.
Gotcha.
So,
Hooray.
you gamble for a bit. He orders another round of drinks for the table on him, just because he's having a good time.
Should we bring up the prisoners? Okay.
Yeah. Once it seems like there's we've kind of gotten a bit into his good graces, at least
And a bit into his cups.
There's a little bit. Yeah, we're drinking along with him.
It's hard to tell if he's into his cups
true.
at all. He's
Dwarves.
been drinking the entire time you're there, and nothing about him has changed. Mind you, he may have just been drunk the whole time. Who knows?
Who knows?
Start early.
You can't drink all day unless you start in the morning.
Got his pre-party on.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Redfist. One of the things that, of course, have been...
Mr. Redfist.
I'm sorry. Do you mind if I call you Rannick?
That's the elder's name.
Do you mind if I call you Rannick then? Rannick, one of the things, of course, whispered about this fine town as we've just arrived here earlier this morning is that no one is as well respected and even feared a bit than yourself.
Well, I mean, I'm not the champion, but, I appreciate it. I'm working my way there. I got a bout on Sunday, by the way.
Oh, that's fantastic. Are you with we saw the parade, one of those fearsome animals? Or one of the...
No, I don't bother with any of that crap.
One of the new bloods.
He looks at you. No. I'm in one of the champion bouts, so.
Okay. You'll be fighting another champion then.
Well, there's only one champion, but there's a series of bouts that lead to be able to fight the champion.
You're in the running.
Possibly claim it. Yeah, I'm in the running. I don't know. We'll see.
Yes. And of course, I've been to Timon a few times, but my friends here are fairly new. Learning about the system of justice here against the bloody, but the prisoner fights.
He looks at you. Yeah, one of them. They're generally good for a laugh. Not much more than that.
Yes, I know. Not much sport there. But
no, not really. But sometimes they scream good.
Of course. We couldn't help but see a gentleman that had also just recently escaped last wall before it fell, and this man had 2 young children. Unfortunately, he had stolen, from what I heard, from one of your fine taverns here, and frankly, my heart went out to him, and to be left, to the children, and to be left orphaned in this fine time, I couldn't help but possibly think and bring up to you.
What's wrong with being an orphan? I was an orphan.
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with it, of course. I just, in these trying times, it would be, I'm sure you were perhaps, sad about it.
He shrugs.
Sounds like
My parents never did nothing for me except for birth me into this terrible world.
Yes.
I found my own way. They will too, I'm sure.
Of course, I'm sure. But personally, in these very trying times, I would be remiss if I couldn't just put forth a bit of a proposition that we could, in some way, purchase this man's freedom.
Why?
You
talking about that guy who stole?
Yes,
Yeah.
Mr. I had it written down here and I've forgotten it. Mr. Hastings. Old Drew Hastings.
Yeah, was caught stealing from my kitchens.
Yes, just to feed his family. And I wouldn't want to think that, of course, justice needs to be done, of course, and the laws are the laws here in Timon.
Yeah, he stole. That's what happens.
Yeah. There's no workaround, perhaps, that we could see.
He didn't have the coin to pay for it, so he fights in the arena. That's how it works.
But perhaps the coin that he cost you, we could remunerate, and this just for his children. And we will be out of time, and we personally will be leaving very soon anyway. We will take him with us and his children, and he will be no longer a thorn in your side.
Listen, I already turned him over to the arena to fight. I can get him out, but then I have to go down there. I don't want to deal that. Listen, He can fight. It's not a big deal. Maybe he'll live. Maybe he won't. It was only a couple silver. I'm surprised he didn't have it on him.
Well, yes, he was fleeing last wall, and times are tough.
Yeah, he was on a boat with us, and everybody basically either died or lost all their possessions.
Ghouls.
Oh yeah, there was some undead
Keeps
as well.
looking at all of you.
Terrible things have happened to my friends here, of course, and they we were just wondering if perhaps there's something we could do for you.
He's looking all cranky. Tell you what. He looks down at the table.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll dice you for it.
Perhaps a game of chance.
You put a gold on the table.
I just broke my only gold. I've got gold. Cracked it. All I need is just the 2. Okay. Thank you, Mikah.
also got necromantic tentacles.
You win. I take the gold and I'll go let him know.
Hold on, let's hear the whole deal.
Well, I mean, so Rannick did hurt my companion within 15 feet of me. There's no way I could make him feel guilty about that, could I?
Had you thought about it at the time, yes. You can't use your reaction 20 minutes later. It's a little outside the round.
Fair enough, fair
Delayed
enough. I'm just
reaction.
Delayed
trying to figure out a way I can contribute.
Coming to Pathfinder soon. Delayed reaction.
Super delayed reaction.
Super
Like,
delayed.
like 3 weeks later. It's like
Hey, wait a minute!
Attack of opportunity. Oh wait, that's good.
it's like grandparent guilt. That's what it is. It's like being able to come back like 2 months later and being like, remember that thing you did?
Don't you feel bad?
Yeah. He's like, I win. I keep the gold anyway.
It's fair and equitable.
He picks up the dice. All right.
I'm really watching him, see if he's going to pull any sort of...
If he's been cheating,
Shenanigans.
yeah, I mean you haven't noticed, but yeah.
All right, I'm just keeping my lizard eyes
Anything
on,
else?
which means like probably like one side at a time.
Are Rexy eyes in the forward? Or
I don't
on the
have any.
side?
I mean, my society is better than my deception.
Users,
Just by
can you
one.
tell
so
us?
I could just do this. I'm just gonna smoke bomb and get out of here. Smoke bomb.
We're all just like,
So, here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you lose, you can try deception after and try and cheat to win.
Oh, okay.
So you can try the legit rolls first.
Right. Yeah.
And if that doesn't go your way, you can then attempt deception to cheat.
All right.
I'm just curious, would something like trying to make a distraction, if he loses and then is going to try and cheat, is that like, do I have to do deception to make a distraction? Or can I just like...
Yeah, basically you could do intimidate. You could do a lot of different things depending on what you try and do, but what you're trying to do is aid his deception check.
Okay.
Yeah.
just yell,
I'm
my
just
battle
curious.
axe is better. See what happens.
You call that a battle axe?
All right. I will say a brief sort of prayer to Cade and Kellyan, drown down the rest of my drink,
Before you do that, or while you're doing that, are there any lizards nearby?
Are there any lizards?
Yeah, just random lizards walking around, like little lizards.
Other than you, no,
like
not really,
little,
no.
Okay.
Come, my pretty.
No, Timon isn't known for its
Lizards?
lizard population. No.
Okay. I'm gonna try something, but
Talk to somebody?
I can talk to lizards. I've never done it.
Go move his dice.
Theoretically, you can talk to lizards.
Now,
You can ask
at
them
this
where the-
critical moment, I'm going to talk to a lizard.
I thought he
them
could
where the
like
library
look
is.
to see if any like cheating stuff on them.
Yeah.
I have to use diplomacy. It's a whole negotiation.
Lizard espionage. I like it.
My friends, wish me luck.
Good luck.
Good luck and cheat.
Wait, no.
No, you said that out loud.
Oh, that was almost a 20. I'm gonna do this one more time. Spending all my hero points on gambling.
For a person you've actually
lying.
never met, you
Nah,
took
but-
the damage.
He met him at the
He saw
arena.
Yeah.
the,
well,
he
it's
saw the
worse.
children.
Oh no!
No, now you have to cheat.
It's only 14 then, which obviously is not gonna do it.
Do we
No,
get to
it's
pick
not.
who rolls? I can try.
It's looking like you're about to lose.
Okay.
Is that something that Carina would notice that he's about to
Oh, yeah.
lose? Okay.
Yeah.
Time slows
The
down.
way the game works, it's,
see his face
it's
go-
clear that he's losing. Like he's cupping the dice underneath his hand and looking and
So if I
bluffing.
Okay.
I have pickpocket. If like grabbing something, would it all help?
No, pickpocket isn't going to help you here, but a
Grab the
distraction would give him a bonus.
So, would there be like people crowding around to watch by chance?
Not terribly.
really?
I mean, there are some people,
Are
but
there like folks behind
can we
the
do?
chairs of
Yeah.
people? Like,
Yeah.
okay. So if I like put my hand on the axe to like kind of lever it down so the back of the like the hilt sticks out to trip somebody maybe and
sure, give me an athletics check.
cause a commotion
Yeah,
here.
you're trying to cause a commotion behind.
Let's see.
Slow mo
okay.
time now. It's here.
What Athletics, you said.
Yep.
That is going to be a 21.
Oh yeah, you trip somebody right behind you.
Take that, nerd.
Creating kind of a mess behind you. This gives you a momentary distraction that will give you a bonus on
Okay.
the deception check.
What's the bonus? 2?
2.
2. All right, that makes it something. Oh, I hate this. Cheat. I'm a cheater. I'm literally a snake oil salesman. Why am I having such trouble cheating? Why am I having moral qualms about cheating this man?
Pour an elixir on the die.
Yeah. That is. Oops, sorry. It's the
I think
P2,
it's pre-recorded.
which means that's a 2. So here we go. Last one. On this.
You're not going to switch up dice?
No.
It
You're
matters.
using the die that he gave you.
I know.
Think about it.
It can roll well.
Oh.
That's a natural 18, which gives me a 27.
Wow.
That's all I got. It's the best I can do.
With the distraction, you quickly like flip one of the dice over,
Right, yeah.
and reveal them. And he looks down and is like, "All right, fine. I'll go let him out."
Yay.
And he snatches the gold coin off the table. Kind of eyes you up. Nice play.
Well, this is a town of taking chances and being bold, and that's just my style. Good Blanche, bleed.
Get up, fall over.
You're all pale now
Yeah.
from the pool of blood that's next to your chair. He's like, "Yeah, all right. Well, all right. Well, swing by in the morning and we'll talk more about business.
Of course.
I'll go let him out in the morning." "Yeah, that's probably enough for me." And he stands up. It's now late at night. And he gets up to leave. The rest of the evening for the group of you is relatively low key.
My friends, I'm going to need to pass out for a few minutes now.
Right.
That's fair.
Still wants to let the professor know. He's like, that's one of the bravest things I've seen someone do. You did all of that for someone you barely knew.
Amazing.
You put your
I-
reputation and your body on the line.
I put my life on the line to get you 3 out of Rasmuran, and I barely knew you at the time.
Good trip.
Carina can heal you for 6 hit points.
Hooray! That's something. Oh, back to where I was before I got stabbed.
Willingly.
I willingly let him stab
Well,
me.
I guess
And
not so much willingly.
I'll medicine myself as well and take some time.
Rannoch throws in a space upstairs to sleep.
Oh.
He's like, "Yeah, if you guys need to pass out, there's a flop house upstairs. Enjoy."
Awesome.
He's as
Gracious.
powerful as he is merciful.
Is this going to be better or worse than the one in Rasmere?
It's got to be
Does anybody
better.
want to make a bet?
I've had my fill of gambling. Thank you very much.
I will bet a comfortable night's sleep.
Well, you make your way upstairs, and actually, it's there's no one else up there. It's not actually an inn. It's just a place that he threw you the room upstairs, and there's a bunch of like cots up there.
Oh, sweet.
Where it's clear that he's had parties in the past. There's like empty steins and a tapped open barrel up there, and it's clear that he's used it for parties in the past. Good old Rannoch Redfist, the dwarven gladiator party inn owner. Anyway, so you're all able to get a restful night's sleep. You're able to get your stuff back.
We bring, like, I guess Sev was probably watching the kids in the wagon outside. We bring Sev and
Yeah, no,
sleep.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the baby owlbear.
And the baby owlbear.
Here, Sev, watch all of these.
Yeah, the kids have taken to feeding the owlbear
Nice.
in its cage. They're not getting their fingers
good.
near it
Yeah.
because it is
What are they feeding it?
little scraps of meat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Random potions.
random things from the wagon. It's
can go
now
wrong?
got 3 beaks. No, that's good.
Advanced.
Yeah. No, but you're all able to get a good night's rest.
Woohoo.
Hooray.
Zell will
That's
spend the
good.
time getting more information about Carina's family, apologizing to Mikah, but
Sabrina's-
explaining, hoping that she
I'm
understands.
pouting.
Oh,
Sabrina's brother?
Sabrina's brother too. Gain information on him.
Oh yeah, Termeth.
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 Oh, yeah. I should write that down.
Dermith.
Okay. Carina's gonna spend any time not talking to Zell, praying to Pharasma, and...
Oh, you make it sound like such a chore.
This guy taking up all my time, asking about my family.
Got a lot of meat stuck in his teeth.
So the next day passes in a bit of a blur. Getting yourselves ready, finding some supplies. You're able to finally sort through all of the gear and equipment from the priests that you garnered upon their defeat, and able to get yourself a bit of coin. We'll deal with that offline. Shopping on stream is not what we're going to be doing.
I think I should probably give the flail to you because it sounds like the enchantments can be stripped, and I think they'd be good on your axe.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Nice.
So yeah, that is one of the things you can do, is that you can strip the enchantments off of weapons and transfer them to other weapons by transferring those onto a rune and then transferring the rune onto
Yeah,
the
when we
weapon.
head down to the arena, I think Carina definitely wants to seek out those people Ranik was talking about to look into that.
So you're able to look into that. It's not a super complicated process. It just takes a bit of time, and they can certainly start it. But throughout all of this, you receive message from the knights that they are packing up. They're hoping to leave the next day. So your time is running short in town, but you now have enough coin that you can pick up some supplies and some basic gear. Finally.
And some food for this thief and his children.
I was gonna give
Technically,
him
I'm
some
a
money.
thief too.
I mean, we stole Razmir masks and cloaks.
That was
and
self-defense.
murdered. That's true.
Are they going to go with you?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that makes most sense to go to Absalom.
We'll take the Hastings with us to Absalom, or at least out of...
the city of opportunity.
Yeah. We can keep an eye on them on the way. So no more stealing.
Yeah, I feel like they should go with the knights, who we are also going with.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right. So, the time kind of flies by. You take care of a bunch of clerical things, but it's time. The time has
to
finally
leave.
arrived. When the knights are preparing to leave, you've taken care of a bunch of clerical business, and unfortunately, Zell, it's your time to head out.
He's still going to give Mikah a big hug. He's like, oh, don't worry, I'll be back. Gotta find my brother, help find Carina's family.
But it's so dangerous.
Seb's brother.
What if something happens to you?
I'll be okay.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
He's like, if something, with everything we've been through, I'm going to be real sneaky about it. It'll just be me. Feel like I can go in the underbrush, avoid Razmir. And if anything, if we are being hunted, this could split them up.
That's true.
Which is horrifying for me, but
sneaky.
also,
You can evade those fools.
yeah, that's their old hat now, right?
Yeah.
But you'll be with our awesome new companions and friends, and he'll shed a lizard tear. Did you know they could cry?
I thought that was a thing. I thought that was a myth.
Crocodiles here?
Yeah, crocodiles.
Yeah, crocodiles.
It meant that you're not
when you
sad.
murder them in swamps.
Well, Zell, it has been a pleasure getting to know you. And I hope that you have all the luck in the world.
I have the feeling we'll meet again.
I sure hope so, my friend. You know where we're going, so you know where to find us.
Could I get one of those potions?
Certainly.
Thank you.
So, standing in the center of Timon, the group parts ways. Zell begins making his journey back to the Loomes to find his brother, while the rest of you turn south, heading to Absalom and an uncertain fate. Before we wrap here today, everybody, I want to say thank you, Gabe, for participating in the Oblivion Oath. Gabe, you're leaving us here at Paizo and moving on to go back to school, and we wish you the best of luck.
Yes.
The upside is you are still here in the greater Seattle area, so we may cross paths again. We'll see whether or not Zell is successful in his mission or not, but we'll save that for another day. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Thank you all for
we will
watching.
see you next week. Bye.
Bye.